Welcome. I'm Janelle Pulaski, a career mindset coach and actor.
And I'm Amanda DeWoe, a self-authenticity and prosperity life coach and actor as well. And we're your co-host of Mindset Artistry YouTube channel,
where we teach you the art of discovering and using your mindset
to build a career and life you desire.
So here we are. Amanda's moving to LA.
That is it. Surprise!
This is good.
More to moving and then going to be bi-coastal. Still a New Yorker at heart. I'm a New Yorker and I can't let that go.
No.
Yeah, so it's a big change. I don't know. I feel like as I was going through this change and making that decision, I really just felt like the anticipation, the hesitation, the stories that my brain decided to tell me or like come up with. I guess like normally I would have either ignored it completely. Like if this was like 10, 15 years ago, I would have like ignored it completely. Or like paid attention to them too much to the point that it would have like sabotaged myself. I would have sabotaged myself. And this time I just chose for it to flow. And, you know, as I tell my clients and everything, like let it flow and kind of like process whatever it is that you're going through. And it was kind of difficult because I was literally thinking of like worst case scenarios that could possibly happen, as we all do, right? We think about the worst case scenarios. And I mean, like storms happening, buildings being burned, like catastrophic situations that would probably won't happen at all. And my brain was, as a creative as it is, right? You know, my brain is creative. It was, it just kept going. Mm. And I just like, I acknowledged it and I just kept taking a step every day toward the move. And I think that's what shifted the difficulty and the challenge about this new chapter, this unknown chapter. And then also recognizing that like how fun it is to start a new chapter and being able to start this new chapter as a creative and discover something completely new about myself.
Yeah, and you can literally do anything. People argue for their limitations. Yeah. As coaches, we talk about that. I mean, I argue for my limitations all the time. I'm like, I can't do it because of this, this, and this. And the best coaches will ask you questions about that. And it's obviously to protect yourself from the change. But I love that. It's like, yeah, you like every day I'm doing a little bit and you just keep showing up and doing the things and eventually it works out. You were talking about moving there a year ago. So what was the shift?
It was, so for me, the shift was seeing myself already living there and seeing myself already achieving the things that I want to achieve as I was there and making that my part of my reality. And also I had a combination with just like, I'm done with this version, this story of my life. I've learned what I've learned. I feel like I've healed and learned so much about myself and helped so many people that it's time for me to now move on and take what I've learned and level up and then learn some more and like set aside the fear and recognizing that my comfort zone actually was detrimental towards the things that I actually want. And granted, like, you know, your comfort can help you heal. We know that, right? Your comfort can help you heal, can help you recognize. But at the same time, my comfort was also keeping me in stagnant. And I can always come back to it. I think that's the thing, too, is that I was always coming back to it. And I didn't want to feel comfortable. That was the thing. I also didn't want to feel comfortable. I don't, and not in a bad way, but like comfortable in the sense of life and achievement and where I want to go. I wanted to challenge myself, up level, and the only way I felt like I could do that is like, all right, do something you've never done before. Live in a whole new state, a new place. It was either LA or London, and London and Paris might be next. And it was like, why not now too? As I tell my clients, like, why not now? What's holding you back? What if you were not to do the things that you want to do? What would your life look like, and how bad would you feel? Or not even bad, but how would you feel? How would that affect you? So if I sat back next year at this same time and saw myself in the same situation, not that it's a bad situation, very lucky, would I be happy, fulfilled? Would I be living my purpose? Would I be able to serve my gift in the best way? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. And I always say this is not my story. And then there's that line, right? You do have to be grateful for what you have. But that is a very fine line for me, because like shaming people out of their dreams can be a little weird to me, because you can be in both places. You can say, I'm very grateful that I have a roof over my head and I do have a job and I have all these things, but I also see this for my life. And I don't think that's a negative thing. I was having a conversation with somebody about that the other day. I said, I don't lack gratitude, but when I sit with myself and like my younger self and what I dreamed for my life, I've had pieces of it, but there's a lot that I haven't experienced yet. And I got to make some big shifts, some big scary shifts to make that a reality. I was just thinking about that the other day. So I don't know. I mean, how do you find that balance? Because it can make you complacent if you're just like, well, I have a roof.
Yeah, I think I kind of get frustrated when it's like, be grateful for what you have. I kind of get frustrated when people say that. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not grateful. I am. But I think like you said, I think there's this misconception of like, you can't achieve more, have more based on what you already have. Like, be grateful that you have a place. Like, yes, I'm grateful. No, I'm not saying that. But I want more for myself. And it's not only for me, it's for my community, it's for my family, it's for people that I'm serving, it's for my career. It's not just for me. It goes beyond that. And I think that's that misconception of like, it's just about that individual. It's not. It's an extension of me. And I think also what I've come down to and recognize is, how do I define life? Because people are constantly throwing words at you about being humble. I hate that word. Because humble is a word that actually is based on a dictionary. It says that you feel less than what you are. And like you're basically downgrading yourself. That's not the proper way of using like humble. Instead, using grateful. I am grateful for what I have. I'm living in my gratitude. It's just the same thing like weakness and strengths. I don't think of like having weaknesses. I think there's what's the word? What's the word? I had it and I looked up in the dictionary. You know what? I'm gonna look at my phone, y'all. I'm gonna look at it because I saved it. And I was like, I am going to make sure that I use this instead of using strengths and like proficiencies and inefficiencies.
Yeah.
Because the inefficiencies, you can always improve and become proficient in it.
Yeah.
And I think like, whereas like weaknesses, yeah, great, you can get strong at it, but I feel like weakness there's like a stigma behind it. Like if you're weak, then you're never good enough. Whereas like inefficient, it just means that you don't maybe have the proper knowledge, you don't have the skill yet. And so maybe, I don't know, I just don't like the sense of weakness and hearing weakness. I just feel weakness is used in a sense that makes someone degrading. It makes someone less than. And I'm not a fan of that. So for something that I've learned is just redefining and understanding the words that you're using, the dialogue that you're using, not only for others, but for yourself. How do you talk to yourself? How do you congratulate yourself? We were just talking about, how you have to recognize your achievements, even though they're like maybe seem small, but looking at it and how it's relative to like a bigger picture.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both have birthdays coming up.
Ooh, yes, we do.
Double Aries in the house. It's so intense up in here. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking, sometimes people like to do like a birthday video about like, oh, a year ago I would be proud of this, and it's pretty cool, like what we've done with the podcast and TV shows or certain auditions or moving. You've completed a move by then, and I also moved somewhere that was healthier for me. So it's pretty neat to like just acknowledge that, and I don't know. It's like, I think really, I just encourage everybody to always like make bold moves, and especially stuff that's scary to you, because you will survive. I mean, I hope, generally, but that's where the growth lies. It is what you do day to day.
Yeah.
Like you got to rest. Like that's a big thing. Like please rest when you're resting, but when you're not resting, like you got to make a big, bold move.
Yeah.
That's really where I see massive change and shifts with people, including myself.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I also recognize that as I've gone through this like shift and change, the old stories have made my spiritual self, my emotional self, my physical self, and my mindset exhausted. Because exhausted, more tired than I've ever been before, whether I've stayed up and broke night, whether, like I've done hiking for like 5-6 hours. Like I've been physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually exhausted because I'm letting go of a version of myself that is no longer serving where I want to go. And I say this all the time to my clients, and it's hard to let go. So there's this kind of like this tug and push and tug and push and tug and like pull and all these things that are happening, and it's exhausting. But spiritually, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm excited about it. And then there's like a part of me like, are you? What's going to happen? And so that kind of like tug of war and like boxing match that's happening has made me exhausted. And I had to like ask myself, like, we were just kind of doing content, and I'll say this, like there was so much resistance, so much resistance coming from me. Like I literally was like, it's the time of the month. Yes, I'm getting personal. Get over it. It's the time of the month, and like I'm tired, my back hurts, I have to go to the city. Like my mind was coming up with all types of scenarios to not meet up with Janelle, to not do our content. And I had to ask myself, like, why? I felt annoyed, I felt a bit angry. And then I had to ask myself, I said, why do I feel this way? And I was just telling her this, why do I feel this way? What's going on, Amanda? Like really, what's going on? Because this is a part of your work, is a part of your career, is a part of your creativity. So what's happening? And I realized is that I stopped finding it fun. I thought it was more of a work thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I'm not finding it fun. But it is fun.
How about that telephone booth moment?
It was so fun. I had so much fun.
People.
Yeah, we did. With the library, we did a lot. And I just told myself before that moment, I said, I'm going to do what I need to do. I grabbed a chai tea latte. Before I met up with her, I sat down, I drank it, I let it go, and I said, I'm going to choose to have fun today. And that's what I did. I shifted my mindset. And when she arrived, because I told her, I texted her, I said, listen, I'm not in the mood today. I said, I'm not in the mood. And I literally told her, I said, I'm not in the mood today. She's like, okay. And when she came, I was ready to go. I said, all right, let's do this.
I was like, I thought you wasn't in the mood.
But all that talk. Yeah.
Oh, she talking to him. He called her?
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that is our episode.
That's our episode. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Party.
It's time to party, y'all. Next time you hear from us, I'll be in LA and she'll be in New York, and then she'll come visit me. We'll be in LA living.
Yeah. And we'll be all around the world doing other things.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
What are your thoughts about this episode?
Drop it in the comments and let us know what you want to dive into next.
Subscribe, like, share, and click the link below to book a free consultation. And
We'll see you next time.